Okay, so I'm gonna make a relatively short video just based on how to prioritize and how I do it. So first things first, we've got to check and see where the chiral centers are. I see 2 hydrogens coupled here, 2 hydrogens coupled here. I've got 3 hydrogens here, 3 hydrogens here. So I see my 2 chiral centers are here at the 3 and 4 position. So let's focus on this one first. So we're gonna go just one bond out. Oops. Carbon, carbon, carbon. It's the same priority size for each 3, so now we have to go one more out. So now we're gonna count these hydrogens. If there was another methyl attached here, or a methyl, then we would count this along with the 3 hydrogens, but since there's no other molecule attached, we can only count the 3 hydrogens. So we count these 3, and that makes it H, H, H on the bottom. So this is more than likely going to be the lowest priority. And then we're going to go ahead and count this one. We've already established that this, we're not counting it because it was all the same priority. So now we go one more out. We go carbon, carbon, and then we count this hydrogen. So that would be C, C, 2 C's, 1 H. And if you notice, when you add all these up, they're all going to equal the same. So you're going to get 3 atoms here, 3 atoms here, and 3 atoms here. And then along with that, so you never want to count 2 carbons on different branches. Like I know these are in different branches technically, but they're the same bond length out. So what I mean is that you don't want to count one bond, like 2 different bonds, 2 carbons. You only want to take from one branch and one bond out carbons. So if you're counting these 2 carbons along with this carbon, that's going to be wrong. And same thing with hydrogens. You don't want to be counting this hydrogen and these hydrogens that are bond length away. So it's going to be every other, basically. You're going to be carbon first. That doesn't work. Hydrogen, carbon. That doesn't work. Hydrogen, carbon. So you just keep going on. So we've established this is CCH. We're going to go ahead and count here. We've got, we've got 1 carbon here and 3 hydrogens. So 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens. Because it's going to equal 3. Because there's 3, 3, 3, 3. So we see we have 2 carbons here, 1 carbon here. So this is going to be the highest priority. Let me clear that out. So highest, second, third. This is going counterclockwise, and the H is in the back, so we're going to leave it just like that. Now we're going to look at this one. The hydrogen is in front, so we have to remember that we're going to, whatever we get, if we get an S, we have to change it to an R. If we get an R, we change it to an S. If the hydrogen is in the back, if we got an R, we would leave it as an R. But it's in the front, so we have to do the opposite. So we're going to go ahead and start with the counting again. We know that this one, I'm just going to leave it alone, but I'll write it anyways. It's going to be H, 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 those 3 hydrogens here. So we've established we're not counting these because they were all the same. So now we go one more out. 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens. It equals 3. This one equals 3. Now we count these 2 carbons and this hydrogen. So that would be 2 carbons and 1 hydrogen to equal 3. And we can, so this is where we would stop. Oops. This is where we would stop. But I'm going to go ahead and go one more out just to show you. This doesn't have to do with this, just to show how you would count this one. So when I'm going one out, I would just count this carbon. So you skip to the next carbon, you don't count these. And you would count these hydrogens and these hydrogens. Of course, the numbers aren't going to add up now because we didn't have to go that length. So we can leave it like that. So yeah, you just go every other. Start with carbon. You can't go to the same priority. Then you go H, next carbon. H, next carbon. H, next carbon. And you keep doing that until you can find the highest priority. So I'm going to clear that out. This was the highest priority. This was the second, and this was the third. This is going counterclockwise, so this would actually be R since the hydrogen's in the front. So we've got to turn this around, and this is what I don't like to do, but I'm gonna do. This one takes, I think the drawing on this assignment is probably the worst part. And then I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna try to move this up top. Let's see if that worked. So this is the one we're observing on the 4th position. We've got our highest priority here with 2 carbons, 1 hydrogen, 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens. So 1, 2, this would be 1, 2, 3. It would be going around this way. That's the R position, but since the hydrogen is poking out front, we're going to do opposite, and it's actually going to be S. So that's correct. And let's see if it's right. Okay,